Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. In this episode, we're going to have a fun day looking through the main markets, gold, Bitcoin structural levels, and hunting for opportunities, amongst other things. Let's run the numbers. We've seen the main markets come down in the past trading session. Oil has been surging as an attack on Iran has been carried out. For financial markets, the conflict is pushing up the price of oil. It's also taken a chunk of the risk-on activity out of the main markets as well as crypto. When you have rules governing your understanding of financial markets, especially Rule 225, it's really important. Crypto cannot escape the stock market's gravity because Bitcoin cannot. I'd like to thank the many hundreds of people who've reached out and secured the $0 cost for the new course that's coming out. You had so many incredible insights into what you wanted me to answer for you. And as a result, I'm going to delay the course just a little bit to make sure that I cover everything. Stay tuned for updates. So that means the course will not be coming out on the 9th of October, but the good news is you can just register if you haven't done so already using the form in the link of this video. And if any other questions come to mind or any things that you want to cover off, please just fill in the form again. And this, of course, the form will extend until the course is released. One thing to note, with the non-farm payrolls coming out, the non-farm employment change could be really interesting. It's likely to shock markets. Another shock has been that we were expecting a 50 basis point decrease in the federal funds rate. That's now fallen to 32.7%. The predominant the main probability is a 25% decrease in the federal funds rate. This is putting upward pressure on the DXY and yields. And one thing to note, when the DXY goes up, typically risk-on assets come down, but there's still a huge amount of greed in the main markets. We've seen a bit of a kick up in Bitcoin and of course all of crypto's prices because the VIX has started to retrace. That means that the major indices and global indices all around the world are rallying on the VIX decreasing. And of course, where the VIX decreases, the DXY isn't far behind. Please let me know in the comments, do you think this rally up is going to continue with Bitcoin and crypto? And of course, if that happens and the DXY comes down, yields would be anticipated to follow. This creates a double input for gold to just ascend upwards, and we'll look at the structural levels momentarily. If you're a new trader or investor, please reach out inside the comments and let me know. I just was talking to a very new trader the other day and they didn't have a charting platform, which meant that they had no idea what influenced the price chart. The answer to that question is always the same. It's always structure. And when we look at gold, structure can be drawn from recent price forward like this, or you can go across all of price history, which is what the CTKS method does. You want the most statistically significant support and resistance lines, and you can see through this resistance line that was just rejected so many times. Rejected, rejected, rejected. Ooh, this is interesting. What is causing that? We can see that this resistance around 2661 is being taken out. Now, what could that mean to gold? Especially if the VIX is decreasing, the DXY and the yields are decreasing. What do you think will happen to gold? It is vital that you be able to answer that question. And for the members of the CTKS Method service, gold has been released. It's out now. You can just update your indicator. The bullish case for gold would be that we get above that 2661 and start to push through these lighter structural resistance levels and come up and challenge the previous all-time high. Wow, exciting stuff. The bearish case is this 2661 just falls under and acts as an underside retracement and retest and resumes down to 2648. If we don't consolidate along here, if it breaks out below this range and confirms the lower level is 26. 26. And please note that these levels require 2 levels of standard certification to actually draw. These are not random lines. These are the most statistically significant resistance and support lines in existence. Price is always moving in a wave, and one thing that we know, if the stock market comes down, crypto will come down because Bitcoin will be coming down as well. We've seen Bitcoin go down, but it's not looking too bad. Sui has been thrown in the sewer just of late. Pepe has lost a bit of pep in his step. But just remember, price is always moving in waves. They come up and down, and that's just what they do. Over the past 24 hours, we've seen Bitcoin undergo a slight recovery, and you know why that is, because the VIX is coming down. Just keep your eyes on the VIX. And why is that important? Because if the VIX spikes up, guess what's going to happen to Bitcoin? Something like that. And if the VIX spikes down, guess what's going to happen to Bitcoin? Something like that. This is what we want to see. Please go up. But it all depends on the VIX. Now, why do you care about Bitcoin? Many people, when they first start in the crypto space, they say, Bitcoin is 61,000. I can't afford that. I want to buy something for 0.000 and just pick a number that's really low, because I'll get so many of them. That's not the point. The point is where the thing can go as a whole, and it's how it's related to Bitcoin as well. For example, when Bitcoin did this, what did Ethereum do? It did that. How do I know that? That overlay is Bitcoin, that blue line. You can see it coming down. Hey, and this is real time. What about BNB, Binance Coin? Yep. What about Solana, XRP, Doge, Cardano, ADA? And what about the entire crypto market? Yes, that is everything. It also came down. But when Bitcoin went up, what did the entire crypto market do? Yes, it went up. If you're trading and investing in the crypto market and you don't understand these fundamentals, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And unfortunately, very few people actually understand them. They think the news will tell you something. The news just reports on what the chart's doing, not the other way around. Now, how could that be, Ken? Surely the news is ahead of reality in the price charts. How could it be? It doesn't make any sense at all. We'll just try a little experiment. This is a 5-second chart, so every candlestick represents 5 seconds. You can see Bitcoin came down like this. What did Ethereum do? What did Binance Coin do? What did Solana do? 5-second chart. What did Doge? What did Doge do? What did ADA do? What did the entire crypto market cap do? This is why you must look at Bitcoin. But what do you need to look at? Some random price chart? Well, let's have a look. There is a very specific thing that you need to look at in Bitcoin's chart. You need to look at the structural support and structural resistance levels. How do you find those out? What most people do is they just pick some random area just in the view of the window and they say, oh, that's a resistance line and that's support. I don't know why it's support, but it is. It's the most important line you'll ever see in your life. Things like this are really nuts. Because Bitcoin has not been trading for 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. It's over 5,200 days worth. You need to analyze all of it, not just a slice of it. There are 2 levels of standard certification required to analyze all of price history, according to the most statistically significant basis for analyzing price. One of the things that we can see, just at that 61,100 level, there was a structural level of resistance. So when the VIX tanked down, you remember when you saw the VIX just going down like this is what it did to crypto. It pushed it up. Now there were 2 levels there, just around 61,200 and 61,100. Those levels have not held as yet. In fact, we're getting a few failures on this just at the current time. We need price to trade around the 61,200 to help us to get into a position for an uptrend and a challenge of that 61,400 mark. Getting above 61,300 is even better. We would prefer to clear that top. I'll look at the bullish case just in a second, but you can see that if we don't maintain, or if this structural resistance or these structural resistance play out on Bitcoin, we're moving down to 68.50 and then potentially lower to 60,620. So we need to be aware of how price holds things. And also we're aware that we have a negative CTKS gap here. Now what does that mean? Inside these gaps, price can move up and down very, very high volatility. So you want to be aware of that. When you have structural support, it dampens the volatility down enormously. But also from the other side, when you have structural resistance levels, that dampens the upward momentum of price until they're overcome. This means that if we don't hold that 60,620 mark, we're coming down to around that 59,778 mark. The good news for Bitcoin is that we can see if we can bypass that 61,400, the next level of structural overhead resistance is just a little bit south of 62,200. In order to profit from CTKS structure, you need to be aware of where the structure actually is inside the charts. And don't forget, Bitcoin structure is dependent on other charts. For example, the DXY is extraordinarily important to Bitcoin at the current time. If the DXY continues to rally up, and we're getting some indication that's already occurring, if that is the case, that is a problem for Bitcoin. And of course, if it's a problem for Bitcoin, it's a problem for all of the crypto charts because they move with directional correlation with Bitcoin. Now, what does that mean? It basically means if Bitcoin is coming up, whatever your favorite chart that you're actually putting money into, that's also coming up. But of course, it won't be the same percentage. Let's get our upper bank and lower banks going and do a bit of an opportunity discovery mode. We can see that Blue Zell was just expecting that Bitcoin was going to go up and up and up forever. But look at this. This is a little bit nasty. Blue Zell has got whacked in the head. Yeah, SDX is doing pretty well and Aptos is feeling a bit apathetic on the lower bank. Many people, when they're new to trading and investing, just look at the specific chart that they're putting money into and ignore everything else. Please don't do that. You have to have a finger on the pulse of the entire market, not just the market that you're investing and trading in, but also the other markets. And a lot of people say, Ken, I don't have time to do things like that. You know, I just want to put money in and put $100 in and get 10 million, billion, trillion, quadrillion dollars back. The funny thing with financial markets, they're a lot like life. The rules are not different. You need to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you're in trouble. Now, how do we read this? We can see that BNX is doing quite well in terms of gaming. Mask is doing well in the ETH ecosystem. The Solana ecosystem is currently under pressure. RWA, or real-world assets, are not doing too badly, actually. AI and big data, not bad, just following Bitcoin's gravitational pull, starting to strengthen just a little bit. Inside the service, it's pretty much moving with Bitcoin. The memes SHIB is out of front and Bonk has got bonked on the head so far. And look at this, we have a winner. Distributed computing and file storage, Blue Zell, Flux, Storage, Seacoin, ICP, Filecoin. Interesting. If you like this kind of analysis, please let me know. We can go through it each day. And when looking at the wallets, Trust Wallet, not too badly. SXP, not too well. DeFi, not looking too bad. Just compare it to the Solana ecosystem where everything was down below. DeFi, everything is pretty much above. That's showing a little bit of strength. IOTX in DePIN doing really well. And when we look at Binance Labs, there's got a bit of strength in there. Centralized exchanges, FTT going all over the place. DEXs, Sushi, having a ball of a time, making a meal out of it, definitely. Bitcoin ecosystem. SDX not doing too bad. And Layer 2, Metis, upper bank. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now, And the secret word today is learning. And we wish that the SEC would learn that it can't win against XRP/Ripple. Bye for now.